90.3 FM. This is a World News at 6. My name is Esther Wachuku. First off, the top stories.
And I am Chioma Innocent. Police ask court to issue arrest warrant against Andy Uba over alleged 400 million naira job scam.
One dead, two wounded in shooting at U.S. immigration facility.
Senate to decide Natasha's fate October 7, Akpabio's 8, Okolubo.
Dapman calls out equality and reasonable prices with petroleum.
And in a tragic development, family of 5 found unconscious, one dead in Benue.
Police uncover 4.8 billion naira theft at Kainji Palm plant, arrest 12 persons. Also, we have Fubara in a recent development calling himself a genius through Dele Farotimi. Also, Rivers APC demands tough sanctions against Showore over attacks on Tinubu Wike. Now, Atiku makes promise to Yoruba race over 2027 presidential ambition. An ADC calls President Tinubu one-time president. Details now. Thank you for staying with us. The world news begins with this recent development where one person unfortunately has been killed, 2 wounded in a shooting on Wednesday at a U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement detention facility in the U.S. city of Dallas. The suspected gunman who opened fire at the ICE facility from an adjacent building is dead. Homeland Security Secretary Christine Noam said the shooter died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. He disclosed, and I quote, "While we do not know what the motive is, we know that our ICE law enforcement is facing unprecedented violence against them." Well, local television disclosed that 3 persons were shot and also detainees in the ICE custody. The gunman is said to be a man on the roof of a building who shot himself as law enforcement agents approached. ICE Deputy Director Madison Sheehan told Fox News that an ICE officer were injured also in the attack.
Meanwhile, in a very tragic development, 5 members of the same family were discovered unconscious in their home at Akajime Community, Boko local government area of Benue State today, with 1 person confirmed dead. The victims, a mother and her 4 children, were found in a coma before neighbors rushed them to a private hospital in Boko. One of the children, a 4-year-old boy, was reported dead before help arrived. A family member who identified herself as Mohivinze Tekura told journalists that she escaped the tragedy after spending the night in her aunt's house due to heavy rain. According to the survivor, she only returned to their residence around 10 a.m. on Wednesday to discover that her mother and siblings were yet to open the door of their house as it was locked from the inside. She explained that she was forced to open the door only to find her mother and other siblings unconscious. One of the victims, who was later resuscitated by the doctor at the hospital, told journalists that he woke up to prepare for school activities but could not move from the bed. When contacted, Dr. Joshua Atime of our hospital in Akajime, Boko, confirmed that some patients of the same family were brought to the hospital this morning, but they had been transferred to the General Hospital in Boko after stabilizing them. Meanwhile, Chairman of Boko local government area, Tosie Yina, said he was yet to receive a formal report about the incident.
The Niger State Police Command has arrested 2 men over the kidnapping and gruesome killing of a 10-year-old boy in Mariga local government area and separately apprehended 3 suspected motorcycle thieves in Kontangura. In a statement made available to correspondents today, signed by the Niger State Command Public Relations Officer SP Wasia Biodun, the case began on July 24, 2025, when 10-year-old Yasir Mustafa Okwana Mariga was abducted. His guardian, who was on the farm at the time, received a call demanding 3.5 million naira as ransom. The Guardian, realizing the situation was not improving, reported the matter to the police in September. The case was therefore transferred to the anti-kidnapping unit of the SCID. The police trailed and arrested Abdulmajid Dan Azumi, aged 32, of Kwana, whose confession led to the arrest of his accomplice, Abdul Nafi Usman, aged 18, of the same community. Well, the suspect added that both of them had been charged in court for prosecution. While in a separate operation, police in Kuntangura arrested 3 suspects for stealing and dismantling a Bajaj motorcycle.
In a tragic development, bandits on Tuesday launched a deadly attack on some villages in Kwatigi local government area of Kwara State, killing a pregnant woman and others. Residents said the attackers abducted 8 people and left several others injured. They said the bandits, who arrived in large numbers on motorcycles, stormed Motokun and Ibru communities, shooting sporadically and forcing villagers to flee in panic. A vigilante commander identified as Gina Ghana said that the Tuesday attack followed a confrontation the previous day between troops and the bandits, during which dozens of cattle were rustled in coordinated strikes on multiple communities. He said at least 4 of the assailants were seriously wounded in the shootout. A resident recounted that the attackers invaded the affected communities, shooting continuously in large numbers on motorcycles, each armed with sophisticated weapons. Sources confirmed that apart from Motoko and Ibru, Fanagun village in Sargi Emirate was also attacked, where 3 people and their cattle were abducted. Residents said the attackers operated freely for hours without any immediate intervention from security operatives. Residents have said the situation left the communities in shock.
Now, the Niger State Police Command has arrested 14 suspects in 2 separate high-profile cases: a massive theft and vandalism at the Kanji power plant valued at over 4.8 billion naira, and a staged kidnap designed to extort 7 million naira ransom. In a statement made available today, signed by the Niger State Command Public Relations Officer SP Wasiu Abiodun, the spokespersons disclosed that the first case, which began with a complaint from Mainstream Energy Solutions Limited on August 11, 2025, uncovered a long-running conspiracy by security staff at the Kanji power plant. The suspects, identified as Shaibu Abi Sufyan, age 35, Ibrahim Musa, age 31, initially denied involvement. However, Abu Sufyan later confessed and implicated 10 other security personnel under his supervision. They include Zayanu Musa, Jabrin Abdullahi, Hassan Musa, Maika Adamu, Tahiru Umar, Abdurrahman Usman, Ismaila Ibrahim, Mubarak Husseini, Adamu Abubakar, and Abdullahi Abubakar, also known as Zuma. Investigations further revealed that the group conspired with scrap dealers Musa Khalid, Abba Khalid, and Abdullahi in Nasarawa village, Masheku local government area. The dealers, police said, mobilized heavy equipment to dismantle metals using acetylene gas, cut them into sizes, transport them in trucks during weekends at night. The command confirmed that efforts are ongoing to apprehend the dealers and other collaborators.
In a tragic development, business mogul and chairman of the Ibru organization, Olorogun Oscar Ibru, has died at the age of 67. According to a statement by his family, he passed away after a brief illness. Further details on the circumstances of his death were not disclosed. The key figure in Nigeria's corporate world, the late Ibru was one of the most prominent heirs of the Ibru dynasty. He was instrumental in sustaining and expanding the conglomerate established by his late father, Olorogun Michael Ibru, whose business empire covered shipping, oil and gas, real estate and commerce. His passing comes less than a decade after the death of the family patriarch, Michael Ibru, in 2016. Funeral arrangements are expected to be announced soon.
Now, human rights lawyer and activist Dele Farotimi has described the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory and former River State Governor Wike as a genius in political recruitment, despite his personal dislike for him. Farotimi, in a post via his X handle today, argued that Wike displayed rare political shrewdness in choosing River State Governor Simlai Fubara as his successor, even though he strongly disapproved of Fubara's leadership style. The activist, responding to a netizen's comment on the political affairs in Rivers, insisted that Wike's ability to install Fubara as governor, whom he derisively called a simpleton, reflected his political calculation rather than any perceived weakness in Ijaw people. Well, he also disclosed that Wike and the governor have been embroiled in a prolonged political feud since the governor assumed office in 2023. This conflict, which eventually led the president to impose a 6-month state of emergency in Rivers in March 2025, which led to the suspension of both Fubara and his deputy from office. While the emergency rule has been lifted, also reinstating Governor Fubara and his deputy, including other members of the House, there have been public outcries since the reinstatement. Fubara had called for prayers and peace in Rivers State, pledging to rededicate himself to governance. Meanwhile, amidst the outcry, Shore has come down hard on Nyesom Wike, bringing out documents which disclosed fraudulent activities with taxpayers' money and calling for the Florida court to issue an extradition process against Nyesom Wike.
Still on Rivers, the People's Democratic Party in the state says it is not disturbed over the allegation of the possible defection of Governor Siminalayi Fubara from the party to the All Progressives Congress APC. The state chairman of the party, Robinson Ewo, who made the statement, said whatever decision the governor takes is personal. He stated that as an individual, the governor has every legitimate right to take any political interest that he deems fit, as far as such decision or action would be to the overall interests of the Rivers people who elected him as the governor against other interests. While the 6-month emergency rule declared on March 18, which ended on September 18, lasted, one of the items on the peace agreement Fubara was alleged to have signed in June was that he should defect to the APC. Ewo added he was not aware of such a plan, nor had the governor informed him of his intention to leave the party. To confirm the fear of the governor's possible defection, Governor Fubara was cited with the chairman of the APC Governors Forum and Imo State Governor Hope Uzodinma, ushering the Rivers governor to President Tinubu's office on Monday.
Now, the All Progressives Congress Rivers State chapter has urged the federal government to take a tough stance against the African Action Congress 2023 presidential candidate, Omoyele Sowore, over his recent criticism of President Bola Tinubu and the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike. Well, the party also appealed to Nigerians to reject what it described as the antics of a serial merchant of discord and purveyor of half-truth, insisting that Sowore's comments were defamatory and dangerous to Nigeria's democracy. In a statement today, the APC state chairman, Tony Okocha, said spreading falsehoods to discredit leaders was unacceptable. He noted that while criticism is healthy in any democracy, Sowore's attacks on Tinubu and Wike crossed the line. Recently, Sowore referred to President Tinubu as a criminal, accused Wike of using public funds to acquire luxury properties in Florida, the United States. Well, Tony Okocha dismissed the allegations, saying they're nothing but bitter rantings from a man rejected at the polls and drowning in political irrelevance. What sane citizens of a country refer to the highest office holder as a criminal? The Rivers APC chairman further accused Sowore of running a media empire founded on blackmail. He says Sowore has built his entire career on lies. His Sahara Reporters platform is notorious for publishing fabricated stories and half-truth, often used as tools for blackmail and extortion, Okocha alleged. He recalled that the police had previously charged Sowore with forgery and false publication for circulating a fake police signal designed to undermine national security. Okocha also cited Sowore's 2019 hashtag Revolution Now protest, describing them as an attempted insurrection. The APC leader therefore urged Nigerians to ignore Sowore's blackmail and instead focus on the achievements of Tinubu and Wike.
In a breaking development, a fresh unrest has erupted in Otaya-Sere community, Sapele local government area of Delta State, after alleged attacks left homes and shops in ruins. The incident, which occurred in the early hours of September 16, reportedly saw gunmen from Abigberedo community in Warri North unleash sporadic gunfire and touch properties worth millions. Angered by the destruction, hundreds of Okwe indigents staged a peaceful protest on September 23. The demonstration, led by one Moses Newcomb Odete, national president of the Okwe Youth Council Worldwide, sent a strong message to the government and security agencies. He noted that the people of Okwe will not fold their arms while they are oppressed. He accused the Alema of Warri of sponsoring the violence over the disputed Okwe Osobo Forest Reserve, insisting the lands belong to the people of Okwe. Community leaders backed his claims with historical records, while victims recounted harrowing tales of loss, including homes, shops, motorcycles, and savings. Traditional leaders in Sapele accused the attackers of attempting to annex Okwe land through violence, urging urgent government intervention. Protesters later marched to the Sapele local government secretariat, where they were received by Felix Abone, executive assistant to the chairman, Bright Abeke. Abeke assured them that the matter was already receiving attention at the state level and that a stakeholders meeting would be convened to prevent further escalation.
Former Vice President Atiku Abubakar has promised to make the interests of the Yoruba race a priority in governance and policy if elected as president of Nigeria in 2027. Atiku described the Yoruba people as his extended family, vowed that there would be no Hausa Fulani domination over Yoruba or other ethnic groups if he emerges as the president of Nigeria. He highlighted that marrying a wife, Titi Atiku Abubakar, whom he described as a jewel of inestimable value from Ijesa in Osun State, is a testament that the Yoruba nation occupies a special place in his heart. Atiku made his standpoint known in a statement by his media consultant, Kola Johnson, where he dismissed fears of any form of ethnic domination if he becomes Nigeria's president in 2027. Meanwhile, in a very recent development, the All Progressives Congress dismissed a statement by the ADC that the president would be only a one-term president. The Lagos State chapter of the APC described the ADC statement on Tinubu's presidency as laughable, idle talk. The party, in a statement today by its spokesperson in Lagos, Shey Oladejo, mocked the ADC as a party which has never won a national election and may never do so in the near future. Now, Chuma Innocent, it's quite, would I say, ironical that when INEC has not actually publicly scheduled a campaign, a campaign schedule, people are already campaigning. The All Progressives Congress is already campaigning. The PDP is already starting off their own campaign, although we don't know which of the candidates they're already working with, but you can tell that they're trying to put their house in order for that. You now have the ADC individually, most of the presidential candidates or presidential aspirants are already doing their thing. But out of Amechi, Peter B, and Atiku, the person who has avidly started campaigning is Atiku Abubakar. So right now he's appealing to the Southwesterners to show him support. Now the Southwesterners, some of them, the Yorubas, or they will call them Yorubara News, a couple of them are afraid that, okay, if an Atiku comes, maybe some of the hostile nature towards other ethnic groups that they have embarked upon, that some of the Fulani or the Fulfide or the Hausa may also revenge. There have been talks that what the president did in Rivers, if another person from another ethnic extraction comes into power, that the person will do the same thing to Lagos. So is it quite ironical that Atiku decided to use this opportunity to address that concern? Like, okay, I need your support. Do you think that the Southwesterners will leave their own person, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, to support Atiku Abubakar?
Atiku has been nursing this ambition for so long, and quite a number of people wanted to work out for him. But in a bid to preach unity and say, I will not be the president of just the people from my own ethnic group, he is also still pushing that division. Because when you begin to address people by their ethnic nationality,
like
then you're already telling them you don't see yourself as a part of the larger union of us, all of us coming together as Nigerians.
No, he's saying that because there are talks that there will be some ethnic domination. You know how it is in this part of the world where exactly, and the federal imbalance in terms of nominations and ministerial appointments. During Buhari's time, it was the same thing. He had most of his people in his cabinet. So you know now that this is the turn of the Southwest. They say it is indeed the turn of the Yorubas. So you have most of the Southwesterners in the cabinet in the affairs of power, and there are talks that if another ethnic person comes in, they will dissolve that and put in their own persons. It's unfortunate that that's how it always is in governance, but it's not supposed to be so. But my question is it time for you to start campaigning?
They've been doing this even before they joined.
Are you campaigning as an individual? Have the ADC come to an agreement?
What does it look like?
No, wait, I want to understand.
Of course, he's campaigning as an individual.
No, has the ADC, are they not supposed to come to a consensus agreement? If they're not doing that and they're doing individual, why don't you wait after the open primary? Then we now know which person is representing. It's going to be the flag bearer of the ADC before you start.
Atiku has said that whoever emerges the presidential candidate of the ADC, they all will support. But it seems to Nigerians that he's hoping he will be the one.
How, Chuma, how? You're already pushing yourself forward. You're already campaigning just yourself. What about the others? No, but that means that coalition is a coalition in disarray. That's what I think it is.
It's a coalition of help me to help you. If
he's not speaking there is no voice of help me to help you. Everybody to your tent, O Israel.
But he also says whoever emerges the presidential candidate, they will support.
My question is,
what
you are putting.
He's hoping he's the one.
No, Chuma, this is not hope, my dear. This is not hope.
Okay. Are you trying to say maybe he's already making moves? He's already making moves.
Not making moves. He has not what is behind.
He may be the one that will be the
No, now Chuma, don't be nice. It's not behind. It is in front. It is in your face. Did you see the video when you went to one of the northern states, whether it was casinos? We saw a campaign vehicle, Article for 2027, with the banner of the ADC. You're already campaigning with the ADC. I'm not saying there is anything bad, but I thought that before this kind of thing, there would have been a conversation amongst you guys. Okay, let us be put it, but if you're going to be campaign for the ADC as a party. Oh, Nigerians, look forward to ADC. We will be better. We'll be stronger than the APC. No, you're not doing that. The ADC is your party, but you're putting your face out there. So you started campaigns, but you've not started your open primaries. You guys have not come to a conclusion. There are talks that there is every possibility that Peter Obi may not actually run with the ADC, because he had said in November he'll be telling us the political party he'll be running with. If the Labour Party, well, some sections of the Labour Party say we're not giving you the ticket. In fact, we expect you to even leave the party. That is the what do you call them? Arabambi and yes, the Arabambi faction and Julius Aburi faction, exactly. So, but
who are now working together, by the way.
Exactly.
Who are now united, by the way.
But the funny thing is, INEC has not told us if they have officially recognized Nenandi Usman. If that is the case, if they've officially been recognized as managing board of the Labour Party, they ought to run a convention. But the question now is, why is Atiku selling himself when he has not told us precisely what is going on amongst those who are coalescing? So this coalition, Shane, a coalition to Pepe, but coalition we don't get spine.
The people in this coalition have their own ambitions, but the person whose ambition does not really seem to be in the face of Nigerians like that is Amechi. But Peter Obi wants to be president.
They have all stated, Choma, you're not getting where are you? I need you to understand my train of thought.
He's campaigning.
Nobody is saying that they haven't disclosed their intent. They have. There's no question about it. There is supposed to be an open primary. All of them are meant to be pushing the party, setting up grassroots structures, creating that identification, subconscious identification of the ADC as a party, as an alternative to the APC, not individualism. That's what I'm talking about.
Think what that means is
I am not seeing Amechi doing that, but Amechi has been campaigning for ADC. Peter Obi too has been talking, please, obedience, what are all of you? Join the ADC, be part of the structures. Let's not just look at the presidency. But Atiku is pushing himself. Like he has started. That's what I'm saying.
I think what that just tells you is that for most of them, their leg never strong for ADC. And you'll be surprised. You know what they say, 24 hours is very long in politics. You'll be surprised. Tomorrow you come and hear, you might even hear that Atiku has left the ADC to follow another party, or that Peter Obi has left the ADC to follow another party. Remember, he recently supported the governorship candidate of the Labour Party. Was it not in Anambra State, George Mogalu? So what does that tell you? Is it that the ADC did not have anybody to present in Anambra, and that's why he had to support the Labour Party? So
he says he's still in the Labour Party, no doubt about it, but he's in a coalition with the ADC, meaning that he's not yet a member of the Labour Party. I remember that they gave them exemptions. I think the SDP guy, that's El Rufai and Peter Obi, because of the ongoing elections. So they are still with the Labour Party. So obviously he has to campaign for the Labour Party candidate because he's presently still a card-carrying member of the Labour Party. But Choma, let's look at Dele Farotimi actually eulogizing Nyesom Wike, the FCT minister. He actually says that he is a genius when it comes to political recruitment, despite his personal dislike for him. Because according to him, he said that in a post, he argued that Wike displayed rare political shrewdness in choosing Rivers State Governor Sim Fubara as his successor, even though he strongly disapproved of Fubara's leadership style. And that basically what netizens are complaining about is not out of the equation, but that Nyesom Wike knew what he was doing by extending a third term through Sim Fubara. So you're the FCT minister, but you also want to be in charge of the affairs of Rivers State through a proxy. And you already know this proxy, you already know how he is. So it was very easy to supposedly twist him or control him. A couple of people are not happy with the fact that Fubara went to thank President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for helping him create
peace.
If
now you, Esther, what you go do?
Did you hear?
You will not go and thank him after returning after 6 months.
Really?
What if the state of emergency had been extended? You know that the president had the power to do that.
No, he was calm. He could have decided not to go to Aso Rock to go and meet the president.
Was calm now because he told his supporters, stand down and let everything play out the way it would play out. Remember that when the state of emergency ended, he did not appear immediately. His supporters, they went to the government house, they were waiting for him. The man no appear. He put them in suspense.
Shoma, Fubara and Natasha Akpoti, she has resumed, although the Senate has told us that in October, when they resume, they will decide her resumption. But her office has been unsealed. We know the theatrics that was involved. She refused to be bullied or cowed. We already saw the process with Fubara. We're not saying that the method of adopting peace, we're not saying that the president did not try in his own way to create whatever peace it was, even though we saw the side that was chosen, that there was already a side chosen. Chuma, what I am saying is you could have resumed from your suspension and just started your work. Write a letter to the president thanking him. But you went all there after you had initially said that the suspension was illegitimate. You did not proceed to court. You did not question the judicial authority of the president over the state of emergency. On what stance would that be? A couple of persons felt that to renew his integrity, he could have resumed and then resigned. How you want to resign with all the emoluments that will come to you?
And another thing you have to look at, Esther, is a lot of political analysts feel that Fubara has been cowed. Plus, they have their meetings, and you don't know what they discuss at this meeting. You don't know that he's been humbled.
Did you hear what Dele Farotimi said?
And for what Dele Farotimi said, I don't know. I cannot agree. I don't know if Wike is a genius or not. But yes, you may dislike somebody and still look at it like, wow, what you've done. Looking at what you have done, it shows that
Wike boasted that he bought forms for all of them. He literally boasted that he bought forms for all of them. That all of them, if the House of Rep members, Fubara, he even disclosed we heard audio of some certain statements. Even some of the persons who were once Wike's allies were the ones who were saying eventually that it was LP that won Rivers and that everything was mutilated and manipulated. So the thing is, I put you there, I gave you the form, I did everything from you, and now you don't want to do my bidding.
The more reason why whatever steps you see Fubara taking now, you cannot even blame him, because you don't know the agreements they've had during their private meetings. So it seems to me that Fubara just wants to finish this his tenure and go home and sleep in peace. Because the man tried to put up a fight and he saw what came out of it. That's to show that no matter what power you think you have, there is always a higher power.
So the higher power is Wike and the president. Anyway, finally, Choma Innocent, the ADC has dismissed the claims of the ADC that the president will be a one-term president. The APC is very confident that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is not a one-term president. With what you're seeing, what's your take with that?
Many Nigerians are not happy, but as much as we try to talk about get your PVC, go to the polls and make a decision, there is still the threat of the elections being manipulated and all of that. So yes, Nigerians might still go to the polls and make their decisions, but no one knows what will come out of it. President Tinubu is really doing everything he can. As much as his supporters are saying he'll get second time, you can see that whenever local government elections are conducted, local councillorship elections are conducted, it's the APC that's winning everywhere. What does that tell you ahead of 2027? Nobody in this country will be surprised if President Tinubu wins the second term. That's the second term, despite the way Nigerians are feeling that we are not happy. We will vote him out and everything. We got to, like, for many of us now, our own we talk, but that doesn't mean you should not go out and still cast your vote and participate in the electoral process. If protecting your vote will lead you to a wound on the head, go home. Go home.
Choma. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's a wrap on the world news at 6. And obviously, we have another program coming up. My name is Esther Wachku.
My name is Choma Innocent. Stay tuned. The evening rush will be coming up by 7 p.m. after Bounty Leave comes up by 6:30 p.m. Thank you for listening.